This is the third battle between Poccopacs and Diplomatt. It's an Odrysian Kingdom versus Odrysian Kingdom mirror matchup. Very similar builds here with some important differences. The winner of this battle is going to advance to the finals of the Wars of the Ancients tournament, while the loser is going to go to the bronze finals of the tournament. And the finals will be cast by both me and Heir of Carthage. And Heir of Carthage has graciously decided to award a copy of Attila to the winner of the tournament, so I thought that was pretty cool of him. It was very cool of him to agree to do the commentary and to cast the battles in the first place. I look forward to casting the games with him. Should be a lot of fun. Some early skirmishing starting out with the Thracian cavalry. This is very useful skirmishing cavalry that can also fight in melee. 40 melee attack and 36 weapon damage makes these units very useful in taking care of enemy skirmishers and enemy cavalry with their javelins. So I'll just pause it for a while to go over the builds. For Poccopacs, we have a front line of 3 mercenary dashing spears. Then we have Thracian warriors, Thracian nobles, a bunch of the very strong Rumpaya units. We have 1 Thracian peltast, 3 Thracian horse, and a Thracian royal cavalry. Very light on the skirmishing. For Diplomatt, we have Thracian bows, 4 Thracian horse, 3 Thracian bows in total. He went for the hoplites, so 2 mercenary hoplites, and a mix of Thracian warriors and Thracian nobles. Not a lot of skirmishers here, and I expected to see more skirmishers to counter the weakness to skirmishers that these units have, because although they have shields, the shields that are strapped to their arms have a 0 chance to block incoming enemy missiles. So the Thracian warriors and the Thracian nobles, while they are absolute beasts in melee, they can't really take missile fire. I'll just fast forward until something happens here, until they get a bit closer to each other. They are both walking, which again is a smart move to not tire out their men. It's kind of funny how these units match each other. Like, none of the cavalry units really want to engage because they are going to be a very equal match for each other. Poccopacs using the mercenary dashing spears to screen against the Thracian cavalry, which is a smart idea. Moving the hoplites over to the side to screen against the cavalry of Poccopacs. And in a straight up melee engagement, this is going to be so equal. If Diplomatt is able to use his archers, his Thracian bows, they can do massive amounts of damage to the Thracian nobles. Looks like we're going to see a cavalry engagement. Head on, Thracian horse against Thracian horse. There's spear support coming in on both sides. The Thracian royal cavalry are going to go in and charge the mercenary hoplites, stop their charge a bit. Nicely done, and that should enable them to pull through and get to the mercenary folksmen if they so choose. Might not be the best of ideas, because the mercenary folksmen have a bonus against large units. Over here we have Thracian warriors charging into mercenary hoplites, and the mercenary hoplites are going to go down very quickly indeed. Mercenary dashing spears are also in the mix, tanking some damage. Nice charge here by Thracian horse against Thracian nobles, but the Thracian horsemen are just going to disappear under the swinging Rumpaya of the Thracian nobles. Thracian peltas doing well against Thracian bows, of course. The Thracian bows are a bit too close to the enemy here for comfort, I think. Because they are in javelin range, they're taking a lot of fire from javelins. It looks like overall that Diplomatt is getting the worst of these engagements. He is losing a unit of Thracian horse. He's losing some Thracian bows. Here we have Thracian nobles coming up against Thracian warriors. The nobles are going to absolutely smoke the warriors. Not really take any damage themselves because they weren't charged. And at some point here, I believe it's around this point, the Diplomatt had an issue with his laptop. So the game froze, they paused it, and they decided to continue to play and ask me if I was going to call for a replay because Diplomatt had some technical difficulties, but I decided to rule against it. And here we have the cavalry of Poccopacs coming in, the Thracian Royal Cavalry chasing away the Thracian bows. Massively important point in the game, because if these Thracian bowmen were able to fire at the nobles and the warriors of Diplomatt, then they could have tipped the balance in favor of Diplomatt decisively. Doing the smart thing here, turning around and firing at the Thracian Royal Cavalry, but the Thracian Royal Cavalry is going to weather the storm of arrows, chase down the Thracian bows. Here we have Thracian Cavalry coming in to also get at the Thracian bowmen. So the Thracian bowmen are off the field. Overall, Poccopacs is getting the better of these engagements. He still has a lot of his nobles left. His general is fine. The general of Diplomatt has taken a lot more damage. And the Thracian bows are history. Thracian cavalry coming up against Thracian cavalry. Thracian cavalry is going to lose for Diplomatt. Here we have more Thracian bowmen in an engagement with Thracian Royal Cavalry. Thracian Royal Cavalry is going to win that engagement. But here we have Thracian nobles moving in, and they're going to destroy these Thracian Royal Cavalry very quickly. So they are just dropping amazingly fast to the extreme charge bonus, weapon damage and melee attack of the Thracian nobles. The Thracian royals are doing the smart thing and pulling out. But there's not a lot of units left on the field now for Diplomatt. While he has his skirmishers, he has his general, he has a depleted unit of nobles. But this is not going to be enough to stop what Poccopacs has left. Poccopacs still has cavalry left, he can still go for the skirmishers. The Thracian cavalry is going to go into the nobles, knock down a few of them, but just getting touched by the rampire of the nobles is going to destroy the Thracian cavalry. So charging Thracian nobles with cavalry, with mid-tier cavalry, although it might be tempting, the cavalry is just going to disappear in seconds. So left on the field for Diplomatt, amazingly enough, the Thracian bows were able to survive against the cavalry of Poccopacs. There's the unit of Thracian warriors left, a depleted Thracian noble unit. He still has some Thracian cavalry. For Poccopacs, we have a unit of Thracian nobles, two very depleted cavalry units. He still has his mercenary Dacian spears for some reason, and they've managed to kill something. Thracian nobles with 210 kills left on them. It's all going to come down to if Diplomatt is able to defend his Thracian bowmen enough that they're able to do the damage they need to do against these Thracian nobles. But at this point I don't see it. There are two cavalry units left, and although they are very depleted, Poccopacs just needs one charge into the Thracian bowmen to basically end the game. Thracian cavalry moving towards the flanks and the rear of Poccopacs. Poccopacs is moving out with his own cavalry, presumably trying to get at the skirmishers. Mercenary Dacian spears taking some fire here. That might be a bit of a miss micro. No point in wasting any arrows on the mercenary Dacian spears. Nicely done here by Poccopacs in using the Dacian spears to screen against the Thracian cavalry and to work as a speed bump against the Thracian nobles of Diplomatt. But there are just so many more nobles left on the field for Poccopacs. He also has some Thracian warriors, and now the surround starts happening. Cavalry is moving around both flanks, and also the center. It's going to be very difficult for Diplomatt to protect his army now. Still a very closely fought battle this. If this Thracian horse connects to the skirmishers, it's going to be extremely bad. But it's sort of getting stopped here, and it's going to take casualties in pulling out. But it's going to accept the casualties and get into the Thracian bows. This might be a GG right here, because if these Thracian bows go down quickly enough, then Diplomatt won't have the tools he needs to take care of the rest of the infantry of Poccopacs, and it looks like the Thracian bows have had enough. But amazingly enough, they stabilize. Mercenary Dacian Spears coming in against the Thracian Nobles. Also charging with the Thracian Royal Cavalry. The Royal Cavalry is going to get destroyed here. So are the Mercenary Dacian Spears. But the Thracian Nobles, depleted Thracian Nobles, are coming up against Thracian Nobles that have 30 more men in the unit. They're going to destroy each other so quickly. They don't have any melee defense to protect them from the massive melee attack. 100 melee attack, 51 weapon damage. It's just amazing what these units can do on the charge. So the Thracian Nobles of Diplomatt are getting the worst of this engagement. All of his units are getting tied down, and when the general dies, which he will, the rest of the army of Diplomatt is going to turn tail and run. Some very nice play by both competitors here. But Poccopacs came out on top. I don't know how much it affected the outcome that Diplomatt had, the technical issues that he had. Let's look at the battle screen here, the statistics. A lot of kills on all the Thracian noble units. Thracian warriors also did well for both sides. The main thing that stands out is that the cavalry of Poccopacs was more effective because it was able to get at the skirmishers here. The skirmishers weren't able to do as much as they needed to in order to take out the. Instead of skirmishers, it looks like Poccopacs just went heavier on the infantry, and that paid off well in this battle for him. He didn't have a decisive cavalry advantage. It was actually Diplomatt that had the numbers advantage in terms of cavalry, or they were actually dead similar in terms of cavalry, but Poccopacs brought this Thracian Royal, and that did well against the Thracian bows. So a very, very closely fought battle. Could have gone both ways, but this time it went to Poccopacs, so that means that Poccopacs is going to face the Armenian king in the finals, and Diplomatt is going to face Kagan in the semifinals. And I am very excited to be casting the final games between Poccopacs and Armenian king with Heir of Carthage. They are going to pick the factions themselves. They're going to pick the mirror factions themselves for both the finals and for the semifinals. So I think we'll see some great games, and should be a lot of fun to cast these games. I'll come back to the exact time and where the games will be cast later. Strength and honor.